sometimes, it's a mignon. People will sometimes ring up and say, well, I've got a French piano, mignon. Well no, Mignon was a composer who was honoured by this German maker, and they named this instrument after him. And this is a piece of Australian history too, the mignon, because they were brought here in big numbers. Quite a beautiful instrument, well made, and often said to be specific for Australian climate. But most German pianos coped with our climate here without trumpeting anything about it. But persisting on the iron frame here in the casting is a little tribute to Allen's. Allen's were the great music store who brought these pianos here to Australia. Some were bought in parts and assembled here in South Australia and other manufacturing areas around Australia. But the mignon piano, a German piano, iron frame, and this particular one, I've spared nothing with it. It was deserving of full treatment. So pins, strings, new set of hammers, tapes, dampers, all the bearings and bushings attended to. But I have spoken in earlier little tapes that we've done about keeping the moths out of your piano. Now through parts of Melbourne, a tiny little moth which has its origins in South Africa, I think it may even have come in some pianos, because about that time, about 15 or 20 years ago, I saw 2 or 3 pianos that came in with South African families, and when I opened them up, they'd been devastated by a moth, and a lot of work had to be done. So it's quite possible that this little guy came in a piano, it being a wool moth. So through Melbourne, down through the southeastern suburbs particularly, Frankston, Peninsula, look out for this little moth. It's no bigger than, say, 3/4 of an inch long in the old terms, slender body, grey, brown, speckly little thing, but it does a lot of damage in people's wardrobes where there are woolen products. And if it gets into the piano, look out. So 2 ways of guarding against that, just to reiterate, is with a drawing pin or something like that. You can press a drawing pin into the side of the piano and hook one of those little mothball type containers with the like a clothes hanger hook it's got, and you just hook that on there. Or better still, if you don't mind, coming down to this level, most instruments are very easy to get access to. There's usually a little wooden spring or something like that, so just disarm that. And down here in the bottom of the piano, you can do it on a saw or something like that, although it's not really necessary. One of the tear-open sachet type moth protection systems are very good, and within the confines of the piano, that will be effective for a full year and just permeates up through the instrument. They're usually a pyrethrin product, and very easy to pop in there. And if you do it perhaps when the tuner calls, each year that the instrument is tuned, we'll make that the time when you have the little preparation ready for the tuner to pop in there for you if you prefer. So here it is. That's a mignon. That's a first-class instrument, concert pitch. Take a person right through to university studies. Instrument like this, tuned and delivered at a nice, appropriate price. That's a lovely thing to do. Don't forget the moths.